and the Chiefs organization everything that I got, and that's what I'm going to do, man.
If anyone knows how important a good offensive line is, it's Ben Johnson. He's not stupid. He knows his offensive playbook doesn't work if his line doesn't block, so he knew he had to go out and get guys like this. Look, there are still some things you could poke some holes in. Tooney is 32 years old. He is older, but like to go out and get a to give up a fourth-round pick for one of the great guards in the league today, and a guy who's won 4 Super Bowls, I don't know if they could have done better than that.
You have Travis Kelce coming back for the last dance.
Okay.
Why not go for gold, go for the gusto? And I get it, folks. Yes, they need more offensive linemen. But Rashee Rice is coming back. Travis Kelce is coming back. You bring that physically imposing wide receiver to Patrick Mahomes, who's still 27 years old.
Yeah.
And you talk about those 50-50 ball, those 100 balls. That's what DK is going to be able to provide for a team like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Thursday, March 6, 2025. Stephen St. John here with Jake Gutierrez. Today on the show, we'll check in with former Chiefs offensive lineman Joe Valerio, ask him about the Joe Tooney trade. Then the dynamic duo will be in studio an hour early. Gary Dieter and Anthony Sherman will be with us in the 7 o'clock hour. Why? Who knows? We'll find out later. But they're going to be here an hour early, so act accordingly. Then at 8 o'clock, our Major League Baseball insider from ESPN, Buster Olney, will answer a series of questions about Jack Caglione. At least 3.
You need to chill, dude.
No.
You got to.
I tagged you. Now am I ridiculous?
No.
Now who's the dummy?
Well, I'm always the dummy.
Now, seriously, I don't, because of a very poor performance by a certain basketball team in Norman, Oklahoma last night, I can't leave the show with Jeff Passan's comments about Jack Caglione, but they're coming. Don't act like you didn't see that tweet I tagged you in. What did you think when you saw that? You go, oh, my God.
It's eye roll.
Here we go.
go.
Eye roll? No excitement?
I mean, it's absolutely excitement, but it's just like...
Or is it, where have I heard that before in the past week repeatedly?
It was an eye roll because I knew where this was going.
It's almost like he talks to somebody. I don't know. What a weird guy.
Hey.
That old SSJ. Shut up. Buster, get ready.
Should I send him a warning text?
And then you are going to ask him a question. You are going to say, hey, Buster, how come Alex Verdugo hasn't signed with anyone? And there are red flags everywhere?
I'll ask him that.
Is he just too big of a butthole? Like, what's going on here?
I'll definitely ask him
Okay.
that.
Because Buster will tell you.
I have a feeling he's asking for too much money,
Yeah.
but maybe because
But
both.
no, I have a feeling he's a butthole that's asking for too much money.
Okay,
How
well,
about that?
yeah, both can be true.
Right.
Both can absolutely be true.
Did you see the tweet I tagged you in involving Tommy Pham?
I did.
Did that make you want him back with the Royals at all?
I asked a question yesterday when we were talking about it, like $4 million.
When you heard the audio from that tweet, did you laugh out loud at all?
Oh, absolutely.
As soon as I saw that, I go, he's going to love this.
I saw it last night, and then I got in here this morning and just fire up my mentions, and I had to listen to it again.
Why not?
Yeah. Dude, I love that guy. I love how he goes about his business.
Well, he went about his business with that Yankees fan, I can tell you that. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star, he'll talk about the Joe Tooney trade and what comes next. Call him. Call Evo.
We warned him.
We stay consistent.
We do.
I call him the day after Mizzou beats Oklahoma. I call them the day after Oklahoma beats Mizzou. Difference is I watched every second of that game. Was I engaged? No. Was I locked in on the game in the second half? No, I was not. I was talking to my daughter. I was looking at my phone. I was retweeting football news. I was there in front of the screen. I knew what was happening. Every time it appeared like maybe, is Mizzou waking up? Maybe? No. No, they're not. Okay. Back to fiddling around. Oh, let me see what else I can retweet. Oh, the Chargers are releasing Joey Bosa. Let me retweet that. That's a good bit of news. Back to the game. Let's see if Missouri is going to play defense on this possession. No? All right. Back to X. What else are people saying about the Joe Thuney trade? All right. Look back up at the game. Oklahoma layup. All right, back to X. MJ Melendez hit a home run. Let me share that. Back to the game. Foul Mizzou. Somehow, when Oklahoma's guards got free and was wide open in the paint, so they had to foul him. Or layup Oklahoma. Back to X. So that's the way it went. And then here comes Selena. How's the game going? I go, what's up? What's up? You got anything about school you want to talk about? Oh, yeah. Listen to this. And so, come on, give me the latest gossip. What's going on at Pius? How's everything going? How are your classes? Don't you want to watch a game? I said, not really. Come on, let's talk. Little daddy-daughter time. Anything you want to get off your chest? I'm all ears. Wait a minute, let me check the game again. Layup Oklahoma. Okay. We're good. So then, what's your test? What is Spanish test tomorrow? C. Okay, good. You're ready. Dad, how come they keep giving up layups? I don't know, baby. Why aren't you really mad right now and cussing? I said, you know why? Because my will was killed about an hour ago in the first half. Because this is the approach. This works for me. Okay? If you play like you don't care, then I'm gonna watch like I don't care. All right? If you don't look very invested in this game, you know what? I'm not going to be very invested in this game. Let's see if I can play a whole game of Retro Bowl on my phone before the next TV timeout. Let me fire off some emails. So I got stuff done during the Mizzou game while watching it. But guess what? Didn't turn it off until the final buzzer. Okay? Rubbed my face in it like I was a bad dog that had pooped on the floor. Come on, there you go, get it. Get it on your nose so you won't do this again. And no, this does not deter me. By the way, I don't do that with our dogs. I've just seen people do that. It's just for the, I'm embellishing the story. And that this does not deter me from my family trip to go watch Mizzou play Kentucky on Saturday. I look, I don't know if this will get back to any of the players. Maybe some of the families were listening. A humble plea from me. I don't get a chance to go to Columbia as much as I used to. I don't go to as many games as I used to. because life gets in the way. But just a humble ask: would you play defense for some of the game on Saturday? Just sprinkling a few possessions here and there. That's all. I'm not at this point. I'm not even sure I'm asking for a win. Could just, and you know what? Maybe I'm out of line. But that's all I'm asking. Let's join a victorious Todd Lebo. Play a song. Do it all. Why did you do this to me?
I didn't do anything.
Sure you did. You knew exactly what was going to happen. You've been sandbagging all week.
I don't know if we should let him gloat. He's
I'm
quit
not
on
gloating.
He's quit on this team.
No. You know why?
Oh, I quit on the team.
You know why?
Yes.
Because I'm highlighting that I made myself watch that piece of crap from wire to wire. I watched every second of that game. Did I do things while I'm watching the game? Yes. Again, I watched the game the way Mizzou played defense, very lackadaisically, with zero focus, and I really half-assed it.
They got to work on that.
Now, tell me
The
I'm
defense
wrong
isn't
about
good.
their defensive performance.
It's pretty easy to play basketball when you just make layups. You're right.
God awful.
Pretty easy. And the other thing that Oklahoma does all the time that they didn't do last night, because Missouri didn't really do anything defensively, is they turn the ball over all the time. I think last night was their SEC season low in turnovers, so that helps. Generally speaking, they turn the ball over 15, 18 times, and they didn't do that a bunch because there wasn't – it's hard to turn it over.
And let me tell
They
you.
don't defend you.
We all know, in the Texas A&M close loss, Mark Mitchell was on the bench a lot because Dennis Gates was trying to prove a point. Okay, I get it. Maybe a better point would have been playing more and they would have won that game. But now, he was on the bench last night, again, proving another point. And I'm somehow in the first half, and I get it. Ant Robinson's in foul trouble. A lot of guys aren't playing defense. The first half became a freshman class showcase.
Yeah.
For people that I haven't seen play in a while. I didn't know what was going on. What's happening?
He's the coach in the team. You don't worry about that.
Well, I was worried about it last night, and I tell you, yes, I will openly admit, Mark Mitchell will be getting no votes for SEC Defensive Player of the Year, but guess what? He's their best player, and he's.
Maybe you should try to go out and outscore people then maybe.
Well, but here's the deal, I need him on the floor.
Yeah.
And on March 5th, 2025, the year of our Lord, I do not need any points being made to Mark Mitchell. All right?
You don't want that.
I don't want.
Hey,
you know what? You know where I want
here's the
him?
deal.
I want him on the floor.
It's hard to go into an intimidating environment with several thousand people there.
And that's another thing I was going to tell you. This was not like Arkansas was a good tough environment. Vanderbilt was a tough environment. All apologies to Utah, but that was not a difficult environment.
No, they
that was like,
pretty
oh
nice,
boy, buckle up, this is going to be wild. No, there was a smattering of people that were somewhat interested.
They had started the year 12-13-0, and their first SEC game at home, it was all packed out. It was good. It was this midweek game, and it was A&M, and it was all crazy. And they were up by 18, and they lost. And ever since, the people really haven't gone out.
Look here,
they don't hold your interest long in some of the sports at Oklahoma if you don't win, and that's been the case for Porter. Huge win for him. Maybe it puts him in. Jarrett Sutton texted me last night. Welcome to the tournament. So maybe they punched their ticket. According to Mike DeCourcy yesterday, this ought to be a good one for them.
Maybe
if they
make it, that'll be. It's important because Porter has not been in the tournament yet as Sooners coach. So
I tell you who didn't text me was Jarrett Sutton. John
Hear
Sunvold.
what you were going to give him back.
Nobody, none of my Mizzou friends, none of my crew texted me.
Let you be.
Yeah, only my man Mark texted me and told me, I hope you see a better game on Saturday. I said, me too.
See?
Hope I see some defense. Listen, okay, I'm going to see. Here we go. I need to stay away from the box score. And I get it. Oh, boy.
Yeah, you said earlier, you texted or tweeted that Oklahoma was shooting 80%. I said it wouldn't last. They only shot 57%.
Well, no. Was it that low, really?
It might have been 60.
Oh, yeah, no, it was 69% at halftime.
Yeah, it was 57. They made some missing shots.
When I made my tweet, they were 16 of 20 from the floor.
Did you see the Missouri's free throw defense? It wasn't very good.
Did Oklahoma end up missing one? They did?
They did. Shot 96%.
Oklahoma from the free throw line was 25 of 26. Now listen. So they shot 57%, 41 from 3, 96 from. We talked about how great that is for Tamar Bates, right? 50, 40, 90. Well, Oklahoma did it as a team, so outstanding. Listen, I understand that defense must be a factor. But, Jake, you could step in here. Lebo, whatever. Mark Mitchell. Mark Mitchell! In 25 minutes, he had 18 points on 7 of 8 shooting. In 25 minutes, he had 18 points. I'm sorry. It wasn't all his fault, and he's the one guy that's consistently putting the ball in the bucket. Dennis, I need him on the floor.
A plea.
The game's 40 minutes long. He needs to be playing more than 18 minutes.
No, 18 points in 25 minutes.
25 minutes. They still need to be on the...
He should be a 30-minute guy at least. Probably.
Yeah, there's 40 minutes.
They had a lot of weird rotations going. You know, I thought Oklahoma was in trouble when Sam Godwin, who scored a lot on the first 12 points of the game, all layups, went down. But then they just let other people shoot layups, so it was easy.
Smart ass.
Hey, the good news is this, Steven. The good news is that we were talking yesterday in my office with the boss man, and I placed a little parlay bet.
Yeah.
And I just took Oklahoma win the points. I didn't take the money line. And I took K-State, who people didn't believe in it. They won on the road. And I took our Ruse, so I had a little 3-leg parlay.
Now, that's good because the Ruse finally won a game in the Summer League tournament for the first time ever. So congratulations.
Go.
By the way, I don't know if you didn't. Jake has no knowledge of this. I got railroaded into making a bet with Lebo on the game, and here's the deal: why we didn't get to bet on the first game, so I missed out on that. I get no payoff from that.
Yeah,
but then Chad Boger gets us in the hall. And goes, "Are you guys betting on the game?"
He's a man of action.
I said, "Well, I guess we are."
He loves action.
And he came up with guess what the bet is?
What?
The winner or the loser has to take out the winner and Chad to lunch. somehow he involved himself in the bet.
I guess when you're the boss.
So now I'm taking Chad and Lebo out to lunch because Oklahoma beat Missouri. I got nothing from Missouri beating Oklahoma earlier, and that's because I'm an idiot.
You got greater satisfaction.
Take him to Joe's. I'll go with you.
Look, Jake got in.
Am I wrong about I get it. Okay, on a night when really no one's playing defense. No one's playing defense.
No.
Why is Mark Mitchell got to be the example?
Seems a little late to be making examples of guys.
But he had 18 points in 25 minutes. And look, I'm not telling you that they're going to win if he plays 38 minutes, but I bet you there's a better chance. But I don't know.
How about 35 minutes for Mark Mitchell?
Caleb Grill didn't come off the floor, and he was.
He kept
firing him up. Hell yes. And that's fine. I'm good with it. I love Caleb Grill.
Yeah.
I just like to see a game where Caleb Grill's not the oldest player on the court. I told you, the dude for Oklahoma is literally 25 years old, number 2.
And you know what? As good as Ant Robinson was against Vandy, and that kid has got a world of talent, it's almost like he came into this game against Oklahoma just determined. He told himself, you know what? I'm going to foul out.
I'm going to foul out. I mean, he's putting effort out on defense.
I'm here, and let me tell you, I'm going to foul early, and I'm going to foul often.
Well, the defense really is a problem because,
oh, yeah. Oh, really?
So, because it works in multiple ways. If you play bad defense, I'd rather have no defense than bad defense because bad defense causes fouls, and then you're on the bench. And bad defense a lot of times causes a team who shoots great free throws to go to the line 26 times.
Did you like the one time that anyone showed really any fire on defense? When freshman point guard T.O. Barrett
Flagrant
did
foul.
like a double karate chop to someone's face. And like I don't even know what that was, but I said okay.
Double slap down. Yeah,
I said,
it was like a flagrant foul.
At that point, I said, all right. It was a foul. Jake, did you? And he went, and like, you know, I go, and they reviewed it. I said, there's no need to review it.
It's a hard foul, man.
He did a double karate chop. That's fine.
Well, I think they probably told him, get out there and go out there and play some defense. None of these fools are playing defense.
Be physical, and he did. He was.
Doesn't know karate, but he knows crazy.
Like at the scene.
But we should, that was foul. He had fouled Jeremiah Frears, I think, on that play. By the way, great freshman for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And Jarrett Sutton also texted me last night. Enjoy your next 2 weeks with him because he
dropped 31 on us. He didn't do much in Columbia. He dropped 31 on him last night.
He's had some really, really high highs and some low lows. But he was great last night, and he's going to be in the NBA, I guess. He's going early, going to go play pro ball or whatever.
Top 15 pick, I think.
So, yeah, that's great.
Is it?
I'm glad that maybe they'll make the tournament. That'd be something. I'll be excited that they sneak in as 11 seed and go get something done.
They're going to make it.
They are good. I mean, they could beat some good teams, but they just don't really know how to finish very well.
Yeah, they did some dumb things down the stretch where they were inviting Mizzou to come back. It was like, no, we're good.
Now, when it got to under 10, right?
I remember there was like two. They were supposed to take time off the clock, and they were coming down and just firing up threes early in the shot clock.
Dumb.
They were trying.
I'm telling you, it's nobody watches Oklahoma basketball, and I've watched some, but not all this year. But the game where they were beating A&M by 18 points at home, and within 2 minutes that game was like down to nothing, was unbelievable how bad they played. And maybe they're learning and they can finish some of these. They finally did win a game last week against Mississippi State, but then they failed against Kentucky and Ole Miss. They're on the road at Texas, who got a big win this week. The Texas game this year at home was embarrassing. Texas is not good, and they were down 20 points at one point and got it back down to like 4. So they just need to go to Texas. If they find a way to win that game, that would be really good. But no matter what, that's the amazing thing about the SEC. I think they're the 14th place team no matter what, and they're pretty good. But the SEC, as DeCourcy said yesterday, it's historically maybe like the best league ever.
Yeah.
For its time, as he said, because everything's different in the world. But these numbers that these teams are putting up and the statistical stuff is just incredible. It's an absolute gauntlet.
And congratulations to K-State. They went to Cincinnati and won 54-49, which is basically the halftime score of any Missouri game.
By the way, we will know when the seeding for the Big 12 tournament is at about 11:30 on Saturday. Because did you realize this? Baylor and Houston play at 9 o'clock our time on Saturday night.
What's the problem?
What on earth is that?
Late night basketball. That's Jake's get back.
It's the Central Time zone.
That's called Jake's bounce back
Double
game.
up catch up, buddy.
Dude, you understand? That's right in Jake's wheelhouse.
Yeah, buddy.
What are you complaining about? Thank you so much
gosh.
for the time, Todd. Congratulations on a great win. This does not deter me from being excited about Saturday to go to watch Mizzou beat Kentucky. I don't know why I'm saying this, but
because they're a
they'll
different
beat
team at home.
Kentucky. They're a different team at home.
Right.
And we'll love it. And I did not love it last night, but I love calling you and congratulating you because I'm a real one. So
I look
there you
forward
go.
to our lunch whenever it is. I know Chad does too.
Well, just you know what?
I do too now.
You name the place
Jake's in.
within reason.
I'm in.
Why not? Just bring everybody. Come on. All right.
Fellowship.
I'll see you when you come in here, Todd.
Boomer.
I'll see you all in a while. Sooner.
Just play defense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just take a break. Oklahoma beats Missouri 96-84. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will talk to former Chiefs offensive lineman Joe Valerio. Get his thoughts on the Joe Tooney trade after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Man, let's check in with Joe Valerio. We told Joe we'd reach out to him if something interesting happened with the offensive line, and we knew it was going to happen at some point. We didn't know it would happen this quick. Several things have happened. Trey Smith with the franchise tag, and now the Chiefs are going to trade Joe Thuney to the Bears for a fourth-round pick in 2026. So, Joe, we call you with questions. And, boy, it didn't take it in the offseason. Things are happening fast at One Arrowhead Drive. First of all, Joe, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Steven. I'm good. We're, settling down after, thinking about what the Chiefs need to do to win the next Super Bowl, which is always the ultimate goal, right? I followed my Coach Schottenheimer 12 o'clock rule. We got over it. I mulled in it and wondered what they could have done different. And then at 12 o'clock, you turn the page and you get ready for the next game. So that was kind of the approach I took to this. And you're right. I thought I'd get maybe till an afternoon snack using the 12 o'clock lunchtime rule, that there'd be a little bit of, a break. And then there's this news. It's a shocker to me. I mean, I'm not like crazy surprised. Like, it wasn't like they let go Patrick Mahomes, but I don't know. I was surprised. I thought they were going to pull a 1995 move where everyone used to say there was no way they were keeping the law firm together, right? I've used that term before, right? And I'm sure Grunny's used it too, right? It was the Zott, Shield, Grunhard law firm, right? The law firm of Zott, Shields, and Grunhard. And there was a time then when even, the salary cap was so new and everything was so new with free agency back then that there was no way they're going to keep those three guys in the interior. And they found a way to do it, right? Because they knew how important it was to keep that glue of the interior together. And I'm telling you, this group of interior guys always reminded me of that, right? Even in the way they played. You had Joe Thuney, the technician. You had Creed Humphrey, who, so many likenesses and analogies to Grunny. Tough, rough and tumble, scrapper, gets it done, one of the best in the league. And then you've got Trey Smith, who, athletic, a lot like Will Shields in that way, getting out in space, and a mauler, coming back from Will's Nebraska days. So it's just, I was really surprised they couldn't try to find a way to keep them together. But, the Caponomics, sometimes it doesn't make sense. And to actually get to the point and get rid of the analogies, but I guess they just kind of looked at Joe as, a guy that's on maybe the downside of his career, could be a little bit more injury prone than a Trey Smith. Trey's young. How old is Trey? 25, 26?
Yes, 25.
So, the future is bright. You got to think about the future in this league sometimes. And so that's why I'm surprised. I'm not shocked, right? But at the same time, a fourth-round pick, like in 2026, that's I think what has me a little bit more surprised. And I don't know why they would do that, why they feel like they would have to unload him that fast. And you guys probably would know better than I. Maybe there's some kind of Caponomics in there that if they don't get rid of him sooner rather than later, they don't free up money for free agency, or couldn't apply that money to Trey's deal. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the part of me that, we'd need like a Stephen Brandt, who does the Business of Sports podcast, to come on and really explain some of that. But from a player's perspective, I'm really surprised. Who's their MVP?
And so, I mean, look, they had to get cap compliant. They also had to find a team that not only would be willing to give compensation, but also would be willing to give Joe Thuney an extension.
Yeah.
Right? And he earned an extension. He played his way. It's time for him to get another extension. And the Chiefs couldn't do that. And so you had to find somewhat similar to, I think, last year when people were surprised that the Chiefs weren't getting more for a player the level of L'Jarius Sneed. Well, number one, you got to find a team that's willing to give you a draft pick and willing to pay Sneed because you want to do right by Sneed. And on top of that, he had some issues with his knee. And now we look back, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think the Titans would go back in time and do that trade again. And so, and now I think with Joe Thuney, I think you're right. That's a guy that's he's going to be 33, and they'll operate under the Patriots did this for a long time, and they don't do this with everybody. They've kept Chris Jones, they've kept Travis Kelce, but trade a guy a year early as opposed to a year late. And it feels like to me they had to decide, is it Trey Smith or is it Joe Thuney that's going to get paid here? We're going to move forward. You just can't, unfortunately, you can't keep everyone together. And they got a draft pick, and most importantly, they got $16 million to play with. And right now, that allows them to have that franchise tag for Trey Smith. But moving forward, also, Joe, and you can speak to this as well, they spent a second-round pick on Suamataia, and his future is not at left tackle. And so you spend a draft pick like that, don't have him forever, time to use him, and he's going to step in and he's going to get the first crack at left guard. And so there's different. Look, and does it suck though? Sure it does, because he is one of the most popular players in that building with his teammates, with the coaching staff, with everybody. A great leader. He will be always considered one of the best free agent signings in this team's history, because he came in, helped them win multiple championships, was a leader, helped them revamp that offensive line, and he's everything they could have possibly expected. And he freaking played left tackle down the stretch and helped them get back to the Super Bowl. And so it was an A-plus signing. They got a draft pick, and now they're going to use the money. And we'll have to see, like, if they go out and get Ronnie Stanley, or they go out and get a left tackle, and they're able to shore up left tackle because of this trade, then kind of like the Tyreek Hill deal. What did the Chiefs do with the money? What did the Chiefs do with the draft picks? That will tell the full story. I'm rambling, but Joe, you tell me what you think of anything I said, and also what you think now moving forward, what this means for the Chiefs, Suamataia, and also left tackle.
Yeah, no, I mean, boy, Steven, we got to get your number over to Andrew Brandt, get you on the Business of Sports. If he wants to talk about the Thuney trade, which is one of the big first shockers of NFL free agency, we got to hook you guys up, because you explained it better than anything I've heard, read, seen, and listened to. I mean, that was amazing. And I am right on with you. I think everything you said, I agree 100%. And you know what? And this is one of those things that's a little deep, like you said, even a little deeper than people might even see about what they did to set Joe Thuney up for the rest of his career, right? Talk about class, right? Talk about setting a guy up that really meant a lot to the organization. And Joe Thuney's not going to walk out of there, with anything but love for this organization in his heart because of the way this all went down, right? It happens to everybody. Everybody knows that you can't stay with an organization forever. I mean, one of the classic examples that I got to see firsthand was Joe Montana leaving the San Francisco 49ers and coming to the Midwest, right, to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, it happens. And he is going to go to the Chicago Bears. Hey, listen, here's one little positive point. We're not going to see the Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl. So, and like Joe Thuney's going to, hey, look, if they make it, for all the Chicago fans out there, I hope they do. But it's not like he's going to the Broncos and we got to see him twice a year and going to knock us out of the playoffs or anything. So, I think going to the Bears was good from that perspective. But it's the right thing for him. You're right. You explained it perfectly. It's the right thing for this team to use their money as the best they can and to really shore up this offensive line for the future. I agree. I think Kingsley is probably best fit at left guard. It's a lot easier to come inside. Even if you have the body type of a left tackle or a right tackle, it's a lot easier to come in and play guard than it is to struggle at tackle. And that's why I give Joe Thuney a lot of credit, because he does not have a left tackle's body. That's Superman stuff, what he did out there. And because, he doesn't have the long arms to keep people away, but you can use those attributes at left guard or right guard. And I think that's probably the best path forward for this team with Kingsley and, like you said, what they use a draft pick on him to bring him inside and to go out and find one more time, try and go out and do their best to find a left tackle that can fit this offense and protect Patrick Mahomes from the backside, which we saw was, the critical part in that game, right? That was the critical part. They did everything they could to try to flush him out of there, the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And Joe put up a fight, and he did everything he could do, but there was just times when, it was a little too much. And you got to have somebody out there that, really can handle those edge rushers. So I think this is really good. I see, you're right. I see going in the mini camp, Kingsley, Creed, Trey, and then Juwan. And then we find that missing piece of left tackle, and that could be the one that we go in the training camp with and build that offensive line.
And I will also suggest that they just won't hand the job to Suamataia because Hunter Nourzad is the guy they like. They had a chance to evaluate Suamataia and Nourzad in the game against the Broncos. And, you got two young guys, let them battle it out. Just don't give the keys to somebody. And if Suamataia can't do the job, they do like Hunter Nourzad, so you got two young, hopefully, upcoming offensive linemen with their stock rising that'll battle out for the position in training camp. And so it's not just Suamataia. He's going to get first crack, but Hunter Nourzad will be a factor in the equation as well. And so I mentioned Ronnie Stanley is a possibility. There's buzz out there that the Chiefs are going to be in the long line of teams pursuing him. But also your podcast partner, Jeff Fedotin, had an interesting article earlier this week about Donovan Smith, and we all wondered why Donovan Smith wasn't an option last year. Well, we found out through Jeff Fedotin and his sources that at Forbes, that he wrote this, that Donovan Smith injured his hip last May and just wasn't physically available last year, but now he's healthy, and now he could be an option. And so when you look at these possible options, I mean, I don't know how excited people would be for Donovan Smith to come back or DJ Humphries. I mean, Ronnie Stanley comes with his red flags as far as injuries, although he didn't have any issues last year. But now there clearly are some veteran options. They can also look to the draft. What are your thoughts about what could be next for left tackle?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot out there, right? I mean, obviously, Alaric Jackson was, I think, one that, was a super athletic guy, played solid for the Rams. I mean, that was somebody, he came off the board really fast. So that was something that would have been a really nice pickup. But I didn't. That was pie in the sky stuff. But I think, Ronnie Stanley is the best option right now. And I think if there's a team, I like some of the psychology behind of why he would look at the Chiefs, coming from Baltimore. It's not, he's used to playing in what is, I guess you would consider a relatively, smaller market town. So he's, it's not like he was, an LA guy or, New York guy or something like that, where he kind of got used to a little bit of a different lifestyle. I mean, Baltimore's a pretty laid back city here on the East Coast. And, I think there's not going to be a dramatic there. He's coming from a team that knows how to win. The Chiefs kind of have Baltimore's number to a certain degree, and Baltimore has kind of their own number. But I think that's probably obviously it's the best option, right? And I think as we see what happens with him, more and more free agents will come available and things will start to move. It's kind of like a domino effect, right? Like once one guy comes off the board, it's like the coaching carousel, right? Like they're all looking at one coach and then he goes and then they look at the next coach. And, I'd love to be a fly on the wall and be in Brett Veach's war room and see who he has, as his, all right, well, if it's not this guy, it's this guy. If it's not this guy, it's that guy. I would love to see, where they go. But I think they have, I personally think it was the position in this game, in the Super Bowl, I keep calling it this game, Super Bowl, that really was the driving factor to what caused the Chiefs to get out of their style and out of their own game plan. And getting this left tackle is going to be the biggest part of what they do. So they're going to have to just throw the resources at it to make it happen. And I think it should be their number one focus, at least for the next several weeks.
One other guy that I'll throw in there that could be a fit. Jake, I don't know if you think about this or Joe. Dan Moore, who's been the starting left tackle for the Steelers the past several years. He's 26 years old. He's going to be a free agent, and he also has that arm length that the Chiefs look for at 34 and a half inches. He's just a solid left tackle, but he's among the best as far as fewest penalties out there. That would be nice. And he's not elite. He's not a star, but he's good. He's durable. Doesn't commit a lot of penalties. 26 years old, and he has that arm length that they crave. And so that's another name in free agency that if Ronnie Stanley's price tag goes through the roof, which it could, that's another guy they can look at. So at least they got options. And again, it sucks that they have to say goodbye to Joe Thuney, but that's the business of football, and they have to be able to make some other moves. And you just I'll leave it with this: you can't go in with Thuney and a bad left tackle again, because we saw where that gets you. Maybe a young left guard that's on the rise, and a solid left tackle is a better equation.
Yeah, I think that's somebody they can build with. A youngish Joe Thuney. Yeah, that's the way to go. It's a constant building league. It's constant. That's what you're always doing with the way that teams are structured now. Teams don't age together the way they used to. You look back just, in this 6-year Super Bowl run and dynasty that the Chiefs have built. You look at the various machinations, and I would be, haven't really done the analysis, but I'd be anxious to go back and eager to go back and look at that roster from the first Super Bowl and look at how many guys are left now. Probably be pretty easy to do quickly, right? It's not like it would be really hard to see who's still left from that team and, what level of consistency was there. That's just the way of this league now. This isn't like when I was growing up, or a lot of us were growing up, where you rooted for the same guys for 10, 12 years together. They all came in together, and, every year there was always, of course, a rookie or two when somebody retired and aged out. But, it was like 80% of your team was year over year the same. It just was such a slower moving machine back then. And now today it's amazing. And it's no wonder, right? When you look at two teams in the last 25 years that have won back-to-back Super Bowls, right? And only one team won two and went to third, right? The Chiefs, right? And that's why it just doesn't happen. When you look at the inconsistencies of teams over the last 2 decades, it all comes down to free agency, and it comes down to the fact that teams just turn over a lot more than they used to, and that's what the GMs and the coaches and the scouting departments and player personnel directors have to do now. They're a big part of these organizations. Where scouting was always big. Don't get me wrong. It was always trying to find talent was a big part of a team. But today, holy cow, it's up there. GM, head coach, and director of personnel. They're like the triumvirate of power in a team and how well a team does. So it's going to be interesting offseason. I'll join you anytime anything happens, Stephen. So please. Let me know if you ever going to check, because it's really fun to get back and talk about this stuff. And you're right, Jeff brought up a really great point about Donovan and kind of aired some things. And that was for me. He broke that story. That was a break. I don't think a whole lot of people really knew about that. So he's on it, and that's why I love being his podcast partner.
Well, be ready to take a phone call whenever the Chiefs bring in the next candidate for left tackle, and we'll have you on to talk about it. As always, Joe, thank you for the time, and I imagine we'll talk to you again real soon.
Yeah, great to be with you, Steven. Have a great one, bud.
That's a good friend of the show, Joe Valerio. We'll take a break. They're already here. They're ready. They look game ready. They're in attack mode an hour earlier. Let's see if they're on their game. Let's see Gary Dieter has to say about Tommy Pham lashing out at Yankees fans. Got a lot to talk about. Gary Dieter and Anthony Sherman in studio next on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
What's up, Kansas City? Jake Gutierrez here, and it's basketball season, and basketball fans, are you ready to win some real money? Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 dunks on its rivals, including Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players. I like more. Get more odds. And then you choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. It's that simple. They give you points, rebounds, three-pointers, and many more, and you just say more or less. And Pick 6 is available in most states, including right here in Missouri. Don't settle for smaller payouts. Switch to Pick 6 and cash in your basketball knowledge. New players, now is the time to get on Pick 6 from DraftKings, because when you play $5, you're going to get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly. All you do is play a $5 entry, $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly. All you have to do is download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code 810WHB. That's code 810WHB for new customers. And like I said, play $5, you're going to get $50 in Pick 6 credits. It's better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Joe's KC Barbecue wants to make sure you can get all your smoked favorites in the comfort of your car. Just download the Joe's KC app on the Android or iOS platforms. Then place your order for curbside pickup. Their curbside crew will deliver your order fast and fresh right to your car. You can order a Z-Man and fries on your lunch break or get meats by the pound for your next game day get-together. Download the Joe's app today and grab Joe's to go in Olathe, Leawood, or the original gas station location in KCK.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 5.25% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as